Hey yo, what's going on, guys? It is Tuba player NegativeAE back with another episode of When They Cry, and we have Rika-chan, who's just kind of jumped out of the bushes and surprised us. I guess I don't know. She was like behind us and she like glomped me. I guess. Um, we, there's some stuff like I don't imagine this interaction goes well, and if it does go well, uh, it doesn't go well. If it does go well, then later Rena's not going to be very happy with us. We'll see what happens. We found you. Oh, goodness me. And Mion and Rena are here. Okay, yeah, this doesn't go well. When I turned around, Mion and Rena were there too. And we just need to find Satoka.
今年はみんなはぐれちゃったね。来年からはちゃんと合流場所を決めておきたいな。
そうだね。やっぱりお祭りはみんなと一緒でないとね。
Listen to Mion's happy declaration with a little bit of guilt.
ケイイチは僕の演舞はちゃんと応援してくれましたですか？
Yeah, this doesn't go well.
ちゃんと見てたぜ。最後までちゃんと頑張ったな。
This is when Rena goes lies.
ミスもなかったし。
そうだよリカちゃん。あんなのはミスのうちに入らないよ。
Fuck. Yeah, I knew it wasn't gonna go well. I tensed up as I realized I made a mistake of my own. Mion slapped a hand onto my shoulder a little roughly. Gross sweat broke out of my whole body.
ケイちゃんはやった？
Yeah, I
肩を
knew
もらって沢に流した？
you haven't yet, right? Is what I could feel her saying. Without the courage to tell any more lies, I lifelessly shook my head.
あれ？そうなのケイイチくん。早く行かないと終わっちゃうよ。終わっちゃうよ。
ごめん。初めてのお祭りだからさ。よくルールがわからなくて。
そうだったね。ごめん。
Yeah, took my hand and we started walking down the stone steps.
ねえケイちゃん。
なんだよ。
And eyes.
シオンには合わなかった？
My heart skipped another beat. Well, see, I'm I'm in a predicament because Shion said that I couldn't tell her, but then, maybe Mion could sense my no. She could read your mind. I think maybe Mion could sense my surprise through my hand.
いや、でも、姿を見たような。でも、ミオンとそっくりだからな。ミオンだったのかもしれない。
そんなに間違えないでしょ？服装だって違うんだから。
そうだよな。
Mion's momentary silence was like a death grip upon me.
しょうがないなシオンは。まああいつのことだから放っておいても大丈夫かな。
Mion's expression returned to her former usual smile, and we continued down the stone steps, her firmly pulling my hand along. Jesus. Alright, well, I mean, it went better than I expected it to go. I expected it to be like, why did Shion just leave you? Or, you know, what's going on? Oh, we got some tips to read, and do we? We got 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 of all the shits. I just got an achievement called Plumbing the Depths, or something like that? Or Plumbing the Depths? I don't know. I didn't really read all of it. I don't want to view just new tips, because we have old tips that we have to read. So this might just be a tip episode, who knows. Alright, so what looks new? Okay. I believe I've read It Hasn't Been a While. I think we have scrapbook 1, 2, and 3, and festivals around the corner, and then 4, 5, and after the festival. So, let's go. Here we go. Oyashiro-sama's curse. In the ancient Onagafuchi village, the anger of Oyashiro-sama, his curse, was feared above all. However, it's seldom stated anywhere what eventually happens and what sort of divine judgment curse befalls them when Oyashiro-sama is angry. From various reports, all hell will break loose. Demons will come flooding out. The miasma from hell will flood outward and kill every villager, letting not a single one escape. The ones evoking images of the village being annihilated stand out the most. These terrifying ideas of divine punishment are in alignment with many other religious beliefs regarding the apocalypse, hell. And it's easy to imagine that there are just ways of convincing people to obey the teachings in order to prevent such an end. Got it. The conditions for inciting Oyashiro-sama's wrath are likely the same as the taboos in Onagafuchi village. I believe that when an act was performed that violates one of these taboos, Oyashiro-sama was termed angry. And in order to quell his anger, they needed to perform the aforementioned sacrifice ritual, or sacrificial ritual. Okay. The human sacrifice ritual. Okay. Sacrifice ritual was a simple drowning. Oh no. Plunging sacrifices into the Onagafuchi swamp, which was considered hallowed. Of the rituals in the Onagafuchi village, this one was unique in that the sacrifice would sink slowly over the long course of 3 days and 3 nights. I believe it wasn't so much the killing of the sacrifice that was important, but rather the symbolism of them sinking as the submerging of Oyashiro-sama's anger. For that purpose, they must have had a passion for learning various methods for keeping the sacrifice from sinking too quickly to force them to sink more slowly. Unfortunately, as far as I can tell from the records, those methods were not recorded. My thoughts are that they may have used logs or some similar material to create a raft, then set up a scaffold there and hung the sacrifice with ropes, and let them sink little by little over time into the swamp. However, if that were the case, it would not be strange if the ritual implements used for such a ceremony were honored as holy and enshrined somewhere. Got it. Okay. They're just telling me what I was going to know anyway. Implements used for the ritual. Ritual tools utilized for ancient religious ceremonies are commonly referred to as implements or ritual implements, and even now, some of them are enshrined on the property of the Furude Shrine and the Three Families. However, the identifiable tools are all decorative, and none appear to have been used in rituals governing the dark side of Onagafuchi village. As the Edo era came to a close and many traditional rituals were lost, were they lost as well, or perhaps buried in the darkness? I don't believe so. Both the implements used on the night of the Feast of the Onakakushi and those used during the sacrificial ceremony must still exist, enshrined away from the eye of the masses. Without a doubt, they exist here, today, at this very moment in Hinamizawa. I'm also nearly certain where they've been enshrined. What was once locked steadfastly has for some reason changed this year to a cheap-looking padlock. You may be able to do something about such a lock. However, it is not far from the assembly hall, nor is it ever far from the presence of people. However, I will not give up. The night where it becomes a blind spot to every villager in Hinamizawa is coming soon. Soon it will be Tanagashi. Okay. So that's Takano-san, I guess. Festival's around the corner. Let's see what we got. Rabble.
Oi, oi.
Hey.
今日のうちからへばっててどうすんだよ。本番は明日だぞ。明日は最後の最後。バッチリ深夜まで燃え上がっていくんだから。よっせ。気合い入れてきますぜ。よし。若さが一番だ。みんなお疲れさん。
綿流しはいよいよ明日だからな。今夜は早めに眠って体力を蓄えておいてくれよ。
Tomorrow is finally Watanagashi. Festivals are split into two groups, those who enjoy them and those who support them. The former only need to prepare their minds, but the latter needs not only that, but also painstakingly crafted plans and preliminary arrangements. While the general majority attending goes about enjoying the festival without a care in the world, will be strained the whole way through. Why?
そりゃ決まってるだろう。全部終わった後のビールがうまいからだよ。
Times like these, it's best to have energetic, physically fit people. It wouldn't be worth it if you didn't do your best to the end, enjoying it the whole way.
ああ、来ました。
Oishi-san came in. Everyone hurried to stand up.
はいはい、皆さんお疲れ様ですね。そのままで結構。
お疲れ様です。
Not even my seniors, who usually talk big about themselves, can hold a candle to Oishi-san. We all bow as if we were one of those cheering squads of old. Kurado Oishi. A detective just waiting to retire. One who doesn't pay much mind to rules and regulations and doesn't do too much in the way of real work. He looks like a rotten old man with a penchant for dirty jokes. My seniors, though, tell me he was a real fighter in his younger days, and that he may or may not have quite a heroic legend trailing behind him. Anyway, he surely had more dignity and presence in the room than the section chief who came in with him.
皆さん、明日の綿流しの準備、本当にお疲れさんです。
Everyone present stands upright and lends their ear to the chief's directions.
昨年発生したように、連続事件を期待する愉快犯の出現が濃厚に危惧されます。各員、一層気を引き締め、何も起こらなければ一番いいんですがね。ですが皆さん、必ず事件は起こると考えてくださいよ。抑止が一番ですが、まあ多分無理でしょう。今年も誰かが死んで誰かが消えます。もう、
If the legend is that someone sinks to the bottom of a swamp, why don't people just put cameras by the swamp? Just like put a camera by the swamp, you know? Maybe it gets broken, right? Or something like that. But like if someone's drowning, you know, you'll be able to see it. And you'll like, oh, okay. There they are, drowning in the swamp or whatever. Unless that's just not what happens. But then you know that's not what happens, right? You know? Just everyone apart from the section chief smiled painfully.
おいさん、そんなんじゃ困るよ。もっと真剣にやって
単
くれな
純な
きゃ。
のは祭りの夜を越すことじゃないんです。明日の夜、起こった何かに迅速かつ徹底的にどこまでも食いついて気合い入れてくよ。兜の尾を引き締めてき。お社様のたたりの化けの皮を。
Very interesting. So the police are looking for people during this night. This is a different universe than the previous game, though, so it's like different people might die. Watanagashi. The rite of Watanagashi is performed during a village festival every June, and even now, but reading back to its origin turns up something. Oh wow, it was just June. Interesting. But reading back to its origin turns up a seriously sanguine ceremony thing. I know that word, I just don't know how to say it. So, originally, Watanagashi would happen at fixed intervals after receiving Oyashiro-sama's trust, they chose to sacrifice. Then the entire village would kidnap/demon away person and ceremonially dissect and devour them in a feast. The rules that determined the intervals are shrouded in mystery. This is because the ceremonies occurred extremely irregularly. There's a theory that it was determined based on astrological fortune telling, but it isn't too convincing. The residents of ancient Unagafuchi village firmly believed that they were half man, half demon transcendents. Okay. And that they were more valuable than humans were, and they forced people within and without to accept that. Perhaps the act of kidnapping and eating people was done to prove that they were higher up on the food chain. This is just a hypothesis, but maybe the rite of the Watanagashi was a political event for the purpose of either being an outlet for or outright diverting the attention of the villagers of the isolated Onagafuchi village. In case any of their complaints or dissatisfactions grew serious. If that was the main reason these ceremonies were held, then it was easy to explain how erratic they were. I can see that. Half human, half demon things. Like, that goes along with the story. I'm trying to think. You guys have, I know Nerdy Y and Insult to Injury have kind of been in the comments, like talking to me about stuff like that. They've been really good about not giving away anything. And they've been well, okay. So I guess my thing is, and my thing since the very beginning has been, well, not the very beginning, but like about midway through the first one, I was kind of just like, oh, there's definitely demons, like 100%. And the reason why I say that is because I'm thinking of this as, I don't know if it's because of the previous visual novels that I've played, or just my skepticism, or my, I don't know, but I'm putting myself, let's say I wanted to write a story, right? And I wanted to like, tell a story specifically about mysterious deaths or whatever, and I wanted to kind of tell people what is going to happen without them necessarily knowing how it's going to happen. Like, I wanted to make a twist. I would first want my reader to know exactly what is going to happen, but then throw doubt, so that way I can at the end call back to the beginning and be like, boom, demons, you know, or boom, whatever's going on here. Which is why I think that he's doing what he's doing, because we've talked about demons way too much in this series to just pass this off as like, oh, there's just no demons, right? Like, you can't, and if we're talking about how demons are actually just Westerners, I don't believe that either, because we just saw in the last episode, it was like there's like tools of cannibalism and shit like that. So I don't know, like, you could argue that like there's a whole bunch of stuff that he could go with, that he could like enter with, but I'm thinking the most pleasing way to end this would be a reveal of one of them actually being a demon. That would be like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, there actually are demons, you know? Because this game has been really good about not doing that, not showing that they're actually demons. The moment they break out an actual demon, that's gonna be like, what the, and then boom, you know? That's a good twist. I like that twist. Anyway, we've read this, right? And then we're gonna read this. I don't want to go on forever about why I think that it's definitely demons, but it just seems like a really good twist to pull out, and I think that he's presented enough information to make it viable, and we just keep talking about demons. The alleged importance of the implements. I can't find anything that gives a concrete description on what the ritual implements were like. They were, however, real, and there definitely existed a multitude of different kinds. One source states that the implements used in the Watanagashi rite alone murdered 200. The obvious question then is why they required such a myriad of them. The rite of the Watanagashi was to kidnap people, and through the demoning away, dissect them and eat them. I believe the tools were for dissection and restraining, but 200 of them is far too many. Generally, tools evolve in such a way to reach a solution for a certain problem. Once you've reached the ultimate goal, that is, you've attained a certain level of efficiency, the tool's evolution normally stops there. Regardless, why would they have created so many different kinds? One of the cultural elements responsible for diversification over time is that of entertainment. Tools used for entertainment would evolve over time and branch out. Unlike normal tools, reaching the ultimate goal would be more of a dead end, and in searching for the next goal, they would split into many different subtypes. So then, perhaps it's not a stretch to suggest that these 200 plus instruments had some entertainment value. This is just a hypothesis, of course, but maybe the human dissection process was viewed as a type of entertainment. The three families of old would develop one new implement dissection tool after another, and each was varied, novel, and attracted spectators to keep them from growing bored. It's not unimaginable. All of them have to be enshrined within that storehouse. There isn't much longer until the night of the Watanagashi. Though its original intent has been lost, I will reveal the secrets of the traditional ceremony night within the ritual storehouse. I can't restrain my excitement. Watanagashi cannot come soon enough. Very interesting. So that's gotta be like Takano's notebook, right? Or scrapbook? Late that night, tensions in the police station were strained. In the silence, many of the staff members' eyes shifted back and forth between the clock and their telephones, counting the seconds that stilled or stifled the atmosphere. Kumagaya-kun burst in with a young guy trailing behind him.
おいさん、こっちは検視入りました。じいさまもさっき、俺もスタンバイ OK しました。このまま焼死の現場へ直行します。
クマちゃん、ちょっと話がややこしくなりました。
Autopsy results.
向こうは身元の判別が非常に困難な状態だそうです。
まさか4年前のあれっすか？
いいえ、こんがりといい感じだそうで。
Oops. He spoke in sportive tones, but the meaning behind his words was heavy. Staff gave a collective sigh.
頭のてっぺんから。
バッチリ黒焦げだそうで、あっちの現場かわいそうだな。
Was it a girl or a guy? That much you can tell, right? Hooked with no possessions, discarded outside prefecture. At worst, it would have taken a week for the body to be identified. The fact that they sniffed it out tonight was huge.
今、小宮山君たちが沖宮の視界を根こそぎ野襲してます。カルテで歯型照合するしかないでしょう。ごめん、誰かきつめのタバコ2箱ぐらい買ってきてくれません？
The young guy answered in affirmation and darted out into the hallway.
今年は見事見つけましたね。ひょっとすると過去の失踪者もこんな感じで県外で殺されてたんですかね。
なら埋めればいいじゃないですか。重りつけて日本海でも。
でもどうして一人死んで一人消えるのがこれまでのパターンじゃないですか。
クマちゃん、仏は拘束なしでドラム缶の中でこんがりでしょ。多分締められた後にわざわざ焼いたんじゃないかと思うんです。見つかることを覚悟の上でです。
じゃあつまり今年は消す気は初めからなかったってことっすか？
消す気がないってよりは、これはそれとは全く別のものでしょうね。消すどころか主張しているようにすら感じられますよ。
つまり見せしめの意味があるってことっすか
Folded his arms, then heaved a long and heavy sigh.
それをしないでやってくれりゃその線もあるんですがね。こんな遠くまで運んで焼いちゃったら下手したらわかんないでしょう。見せしめにするならひなみ沢の近くでやるべきなんですよ。殺したことを主張したいのに場所は演出効果の確実じゃない遠方。 主張したいのか隠したいのか。今年は何考えてるのかな、お社様は。
A telephone ring cut through the heavy silence. A staff member nearby snatched up the
おい
receiver.
さん、小宮山さんです。出ました。沖宮のデンタルクリニックで3年前に親知らずの治療をしてます。
カルテは？
レントゲン付きでバッチリと。
いやー、こんな明け方前に歯医者さんには申し訳ないな。
了解っす。あ、課長です。夜分お疲れ様です。大石さん、遅くなって申し訳ない。状況は？
やっと面白くなってきたってとこですかね。燃えてきたぞー。わー
They're not gonna tell me who it is. All right. So it's an unidentifiable body. I'm probably gonna find out who it is coming up here. Let's get in. I might end it a little bit early because we're 26 minutes in, so I'm gonna end it like around 40ish. But we'll see. We'll see if we can figure out who dies. Someone's already dead. And did someone get demoned away? What was? He was like, the demoned away and the killing aren't connected. That's kind of a hint. That's a hint that we didn't know before. And if that's true, it changes a lot of things. Like, I don't know. I let out a great big yawn. It was like morning had arrived just as I got to sleep. Mom set up breakfast. She gave me a pained smile.
どうしたのケイチ。昨夜は何時に寝たの
12時には寝たつもりだけど、昨日はなんだか寝つきが悪くて。
お祭りではしゃぎすぎて興奮。
違うよ。
Some good eating noises. I crunched down hard on the pickled radish to hide my embarrassment. Is that good for breakfast? After all that happened yesterday and our discussion about the sound Shion had heard, that banging noise like a child far away jumping up and down on a wooden floor. The story wouldn't get out of my head, so I had trouble sleeping. It was a long night. I just kept jumping at the slight sounds of faraway tree branches, which should have been either unhearable or too insignificant to notice. When I woke up, the morning sunlight and the birds chirping, it made me feel pretty ashamed about it, but felt far from refreshed this morning. Okay. This isn't gonna go well. So, my prediction, real quick before we get into anything, Shion's dead, Tomitaki's dead. Or one of them's gone, one of them's dead. There's... That's my prediction. Your eyes are on it.
おはよう。どういうわけか寝つきが悪くてな。そんなわけで今日は寝不足だ。
She knows why.
昨日のお祭りは楽しかったね。レナも興奮がなかなか冷めなくて、なかなか寝れなかったんだよ。
In Rena's case, her excitement seemed to still be wide
こう
awake.
いうお祭りが何度もあればいいのにね。またみんなで大盛り上がり。
まあ、そうだな。
Rena talking about the festival yesterday made me remember everything I had nearly forgotten last night. The inside of the ritual storehouse had been so utterly different from the relaxed, bright, everyday life of Hinamizawa. All those stories that Takano-san told me too. The mysterious incidents that occurred on the day of the Watanagashi festival every year. The strange incidents where one person would die and one person would disappear. The old stories of Hinamizawa flickering like a candle behind them. The numerous and horrifying traditions of Onagafuchi village. The villagers with demon blood in them. The terrible cannibalistic feasts. The poor sacrifices kidnapped from human villages, or victims of the Onagakushi. To quell the rage of Oyashiro-sama, their ritual involving living sacrifices. There were also so many others. There were so many stories that just remembering them put me in a foul mood. Most of them weren't fiction either, they were true. We didn't need to fear them just because they were real though, since it all happened so long ago. Such a very long time ago.
みーちゃん遅いね。
Before I realized it, we had arrived at the place where we'd usually meet with Mion. Probably because I was so
こ
lost
の
in
時
thought.
間になっても来ないときは先に行ってもいい約束になってるんだけど、どうする？
Mion being late wasn't too rare an occurrence, but today she was unusually late. A few of the ominous tales from the night before came back to my life and my mind again. Who would die this year and who would disappear? It couldn't have been Mion.
どうするかな？もう行かないと遅刻になっちゃう。
来るよ。学校休むって電話があったわけじゃないだろ。もう5分待ってみようぜ。な。
She's satisfied with a smile. We had to wait 5 minutes. We'd have to run as fast as we could to school or we'd be late. As soon as I thought that, we spotted Mion running towards us out of breath.
みーちゃん、遅い遅い。
待っててくれたわけ？先に行っちゃってもよかったのに。
Mion was breathing heavily and her face was all red. Her house was right down the road, wasn't it? It wasn't far enough away for her to end up like this, was it?
みーちゃん、ひょっとして具合悪くない？
Now that she mentioned it. Rena pushed Mion's bangs away and put her hand to her forehead.
レナの手、冷たいな。
みーちゃん、ちょっとだけど熱あるよ。
そんな大したことない。半日もすればケロッと治っちゃうって。
本当に大丈夫かよ。あまり無理するなよ。
あれ、ケイちゃん、気遣ってくれるの？嬉しいな。
Oh my goodness, dude. Keiichi needs more problem-solving skills. Alright, here we go. Here's my theory. Did Mion die in this one? Because it's seeming right now, just based off of this information right here and on the screen, that it's Shion, but they're like giving you the hint here. They're giving you the plot twist here, but they're turning it around so that way you don't know none the wiser, you know? But this is Shion.
無理しない方がいいと思うな。
Is Mion dead? Is that what
先生
happened?
がお休みだって伝えとくよ。
Mion was like burned alive? Is that what happened?
大丈夫大丈夫。風邪薬も飲んだし、
Oh no.
すぐに効いてくると思うから。
The unfortunate energetic expression onto her face and flexed her biceps at
じ
us.
ゃあ行こうか。くれぐれも無理するなよ。時間。
走らないと間に合わない。
スリリングな朝になっちゃったね。鈍った体にはちょうどいいカツかもね。走ろ。
Wait, you're sick. Don't go overboard. Mion began to run vigorously away.
みーちゃんだって最上級生だよ。自分の体のことは自分で一番よくわかってるよ。
I decided to leave it at that and assume she was
よ
fine.
し、俺たちも行こうぜ。
He's pointing to that Mion is Shion right now. That would be interesting. That would be an interesting turn of events. The school looked the same as always. Hours passed listlessly and my lack of sleep took its toll. If there was a sport where people competed by sleeping, I would be the world champion right now. The trick to overcoming this sort of dangerous situation was to hold your pencil upside down. Why, you ask? So you don't draw strange patterns all over your notebook while half asleep. If you were holding your pencil upside down, that wouldn't happen, would it? You draw strange things when you're asleep. I've never held a pencil and slept on a piece of paper before. Something like that felt like an eraser hit me in the head 6
いて
times.
ててて、何しやがるサトコ。
私は何もしてないでござる。
お前以外にこんないたずら。消しゴムじゃなくてチョークか。え？
It was the teacher's shadow holding 3 pieces of chalk in each hand. Rumble, rumble, rumble.
前原、お顔を洗ってらっしゃい。
はい。喜んで。
That alone was enough to wake up, but I flew out into the hallway as if shoved out by the pressure exuded by the teacher's sheer power. If I was going to wash my face anyway, then I'd rather use the sinks out front rather than the ones in the dark restroom. Thinking that, I left the hallway and went to the entrance. Sunlight was strong. So strong you wouldn't think it was June. Sunlight's pretty strong in June. Maybe it's just because I'm in California. I turned the faucet, and with a lifeless bubbling noise, lukewarm water came pouring out. I let it run for a few moments. Did it get cold? I looked at it absent-mindedly for a while.
やっぱケイちゃんはこっちの流しを選んだか。表の方が気分いいもんね。
ミオンか。授業サボるなよな。
Stuck my hands into the water to find it had gotten so cold that it seemed strange it had ever been warm. I know that feeling. I scooped it up and splashed it against my face. Once I was done, I moved out of the way and Mion did the same.
ミオン、具合の方はいいのかよ。眠いのは寝不足じゃなくて薬の副作用なんだろ。
実は内緒なんだけど、昨日はお祭りの後で親族の宴会に巻き込まれちゃって、それで実はエンドレスに突入しちゃって。
She drank alcohol? Are you hungover? How old are you?
勘弁してよ。体調が悪いのは本当なんだからさ。
I suppose she'd be feeling lousy either way. Still, you treat colds and hangovers in completely different
心
ways.
配して損したぞ。たく、ミオンらしいというかなんというか。
Anne scratched her head, a little embarrassed. She didn't seem to be feeling well, but now that I knew it was a hangover, I didn't need to worry too much. It would go away with time, after all.
でも頭がガンガンするの。だからさ、さっき先生に早退していいって言われちゃった。
ずるいやつ。じゃあミオンはもうこれで帰りなのか？
As I looked again, Mion had her bag with her. She must have been on her way home.
申し訳ないけどね。今日は家でおとなしく寝させてもらうわ。部活できなくて申し訳ないね。今日はケイちゃんがリーダーってことでやってくれない？
多分無理だと思うぜ。俺たち部活は全員揃った時しかやらないっていう暗黙の了解があるだろう。ミオンがバイトに行ってる時はいつもそのままお開きだったんだぜ。
Mion left Riley saying we didn't need to worry about her. No matter how much fun we have, though, I think that feeling guilty about friends who can't share in it is the sign of a really fantastic friendship. In that sense, the club Mion has created is a wonderful thing. As I thought about it, the moisture on my head, on my washed face, dried up. I suppose we were talking too much. If I didn't get back to the classroom soon, I could get into trouble.
じゃあな。俺は教室に戻るぜ。帰りは気をつけろよ。ふらふらして側溝や用水路に落ちるなよ。
I looked at that, turned around, and started heading back to the classroom.
そうそう、ケイちゃん。
Mion stopped me. I turned my head to listen.
なんだ？
変なこと聞くけど、深く考えないで答えてね。
そりゃ内容によりけりだな。
昨日の綿流しの晩さ、富武さんと高野さんに会わなかった？
Okay. So weird. So it's not Shion. Because Shion knows that. And she would know. So Suddenly tensed up.
富武さんと高野さんはわかるよね。ほらケイちゃん、お祭りの前日準備の時、シオンと一緒に4人でお話ししてたでしょ。
If I could, I wanted to forget about sneaking into the storehouse that night as soon as possible. Hearing the names of the people I was with at that time really got to me. Besides that, though, why was Mion asking me a question like that? I ended up staring at her, unable to answer immediately. When she was asking to see if I had seen them or not, was she asking to see if I had seen them or not, or was she asking the question knowing that I had? I couldn't tell.
さあ、どうかな。あったような、合わなかったような。
My vague response was clearly not to Mion's liking. What answer was she expecting from me? There was no way for me to know.
そう。
Oh.
じゃあもう一つ質問ね。同じく夕べ、シオンに会わなかった？
Heart leapt in my throat again, the tiny needles buried. So is this just the same thing as the last one, except now Mion's gonna go apeshit on me?
それ、昨日も聞いたよな。俺、会ったかどうかわからないって答えたと思ったぜ。
ん？そうだっけ？また改めて聞いたら違う答えが返ってくるかなって思ってさ。
I guess I thought I'd just get a different answer if I asked you again. Yeah, so this is the demon eyes. Mitaki-san and Takana-san. Shion, too. He was asking me about them. There was no doubt about it. Last night, the four of us snuck into the ritual storehouse. She knew everything. So what? There's not really a curse anyway. That's right. Even Shion and Takano-san said yesterday during the festival that there was no curse. And that rather than a curse, it was the doing of the villagers. My blood curdled. Mion was, almost without a doubt, aware that we snuck into the storehouse. It was nothing strange. I had screwed up bad but flipping on the light switch last night. If Mion had been searching for me, it was simple to imagine that she had seen that momentary light and come to find out what was going on.
本当に会ってないんだね。
どうして会ったかどうかをそんなに気にするんだよ。
大したことじゃないの。富武さんと高野さんと悪く言ってる人たちがいるの。
There's some people who are speaking poorly of you, of Tomitaki-san, Takano-san, Shion, and you.
何が悪いんだかはよく聞いてないんだけどね。
Pleasant sweat dripped down my arms, and the sound of it hanging from my fingertips was so annoyingly loud.
私、ケイちゃんが悪いことをするなんて信じてないから。でも、ちょっとだけ聞いてみたかったから聞いてみた。不愉快な思いをさせてごめんね。
Found myself unable to reply. My reaction must have made it obvious what the truth was, yet I couldn't explain
ケイちゃ
myself.
んは富武さんとも高野さんともそうだよね。
ああ。
Finally wrung out an answer between ragged breaths. Mion's expression softened a little.
よかった。私言っとくね。ケイちゃんは何にも悪いことには加わってないってみんなにちゃんと言っておくからね。
Yeah, please do. Tell them I wasn't doing anything bad. Everyone, make sure. Everyone. Everyone? Who was
じゃあ
everyone?
ね。明日は元気になってるから。バイバイ。
Couldn't you just leave? Couldn't you just? Well, I guess I'm in a situation where I'm a kid, so I can't leave. But like, I feel like. Okay, later. I'll be better tomorrow. Bye bye. What do you mean by everyone? Just then, freezing cold hand touched the back of my neck.
ほら、遅いですよ前原くん。顔を洗うだけなのに時間がかかりすぎです。
It was the teacher. I was taking so long that she
あ、
came out to get
す
me.
みません。ついミオンとおしゃべりを。
I turned around, but Mion had crossed through the schoolyard without me realizing it and was now standing at the gate.
さ、
お勉強に戻りますよ。早く早く。
Teacher was being insistent. We returned to the entrance. I looked back one more time, and Mion was nowhere in sight. Okay. Well, my theory is wrong.
今日はずっと元気がないのです。昨日大はしゃぎしすぎたからに違いありませんわ。
迷子になって目を真っ赤にさせて半泣きしてたやつに言われたくねえ。
ゆうべのさとこちゃん可愛かったよ。はう。
My friends did their best to try and cheer me up, but it didn't lighten my mood. Was it far worse than I thought? Had I really done something terrible last night? These thoughts remained with me for the rest of the day.
じゃあね、ケイチくん。
Oh gosh, here we go.
また明日ね。
The time I realized it, I was in front of my own house.
みーちゃんも風邪だったみたいだけど、ひょっとしてケイチくんもなのかな
大丈夫だよ。こう見えても風邪で休んだことはないんだぜ。
でも、みーちゃんもケイチくんも。
気にしてくれてありがとな。大丈夫。バカは風邪ひかないんだぜ。
Rena smiled, waved to me, and left. Ooh, my shoulders bobbing up and down from breathing heavily, I entered the house. As soon as I got back in, Mom called out to me.
何？
ケイチ、悪いんだけど図書館に行って本を返してきてくれない？
めんどくさいな。
お父さんも母さんも今ね、ちょっと電話待ちをしてるところで家を開けられないの。返却期限も今日までだし、お願いできない？
Sheesh. Did it have to do with Dad's job? No point in arguing if they bring that up.
仕方ないな。でも俺、図書館がどこにあるか知らないよ。
あら、知らない？沖宮の駅前をちょっと進んで。
My parents' faces immediately turned grim. Mom snatched up the
もしも
receiver.
し、前原です。はい、おりますけど。
Then she thrust the receiver at my
ケイ
face.
チに電話よ。早めに終わらせてね。
Tried to ask who it was from, but the person on the phone. But asking the person on the phone would have been faster. Got it.
園崎の妹の方です。
Okay.
こんにちは。今はお時間大丈夫ですか？
She and the older sister had to hang over today, but the younger
シオンか。
made no reference to it.
ミオンと同じで、今日は徹夜明けで寝込んでるんじゃないかと思った。
それじゃあおね、今日はずる休みですか？おねらしい。
She laughed warmly, but Mom glared at me silently, telling me to finish up.
ごめんな。ちょっと親が電話待ちをしてるんで。何の用だ？
お話ししたいことがあったんですけど、長電話が無理じゃ仕方ない
Well,
です。
can you meet up at the library, girl? She sounded a little disappointed. What would Shion want to talk to me about? Come to the library.
じゃあさ、会って話をしないか。
Yes.
ついでに図書館にも案内してもらえるとありがたい。
Thank you.
図書館って駅前の私立図書館ですか？別にいいですよ。
Yes, that's
バイ
fine.
トのついでってことで。
じゃあ、いつもミオンと待ち合わせてる場所わかるか？園崎家の小道に分かれる分岐の。
ケイちゃん言ってませんでしたっけ？私本家じゃなくて沖宮の家に住んだから待ち合わせ場所は沖宮駅の改札前なんかにしてくれた方が嬉しいんですけど。
Interesting. Now that she mentioned it, it's always seemed like the Sonozaki sisters weren't communicating. Did they live in different houses? Now that she mentioned it, Rena said she'd never met the younger sister despite having going over to play sometimes.
じゃあ、駅に集合な。すぐに行くよ。じゃあ。
I set the receiver down. Mom immediately thrust a large pile of library books in my face. 6 volumes of long-form mystery novels. Mom had her own hobbies.
ケイチ、お夕飯までには帰るのよ。
じゃあ行ってくれよ。
I suppose I wanted to change my clothes and grab my bike key. I climbed down the stairs to my bedroom. Alright. Shion had been waiting for me already, so meeting up was a smooth process. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. So if you guys are worried about me reading any more, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it so I won't. Um, yeah, I there's a lot of things that I could say right now about what I think is going on. We'll just save it here. There's a lot of things that I could say about what's going on, and I don't know. See, I don't know if it's true. Saying stuff right now is kind of pointless. Like, there's a theory in my head right now that Shion and Mion are the same person, but they're split personalities, and then sometimes they split from each other. But that would be hard to explain in just text, you know. Um, it's weird that she can't enter. Like she was very insistent that we meet at the station and not in Hinamizawa, which is understandable. I'm curious as to what she has to talk to me about, so that'll be happening in the next episode. Uh, because I thought at first that because the reason why uh, Mion was acting different was because of it was Shion pretending to be Mion and Mion died. Shion is not dead, which is amazing. Oh, I love that Shion is not dead. She might be demoned away though. She might, or not demoned away. She might be like, is that what the sinking in the swamp? I'm thinking that it's still probably Tomitaki-san that died, and that it's maybe someone else that gets. I don't know who it is. Probably Shion. If my theory in the first place is correct about whoever hears the noise dies, then it's probably Shion that's going to go next. But I'm guessing that probably Tomitaki was burned alive in wherever he was. You know. Or maybe it's the same. Maybe it's Tomitaki and Takano-san again. I don't know. But Shion wants to talk to me. I love that Shion, best girl, has not died yet, and she gave me a call, so that's good. It's news to me, unless this is actually Mion in disguise, but I doubt that, because she wanted to have the conversation outside of Hinamizawa instead of inside. Ah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed me talk my head off about this game, hit the like button. Also subscribe if you haven't done so already. Lots of visual novel and roguelike stuff on the channel. And hope to see you guys in the next episode of this. Peace out, you guys.